Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Vintage Guitar Legacies. I'm your host, Sarah James, and today we're featuring a 1960 era Harmony Stella guitar. Let's check it out. What we have here is a 1960s era Harmony Stella guitar. I thought it would be fitting to feature this iconic instrument, which, truth be told, is the model of my very first guitar. I hated it because I thought it was a cheap piece of crap compared to my friend's brand new, beautiful, shiny Gibson Hummingbird. The action was so high on this that it nearly made my fingers bleed, and I actually sanded it down and refinished it to make it prettier. It ended up in one of my mom's famous garage sales. Oh, so little did I know. So many, many years later, I found one. Originally, the Stella brand was established by the Oscar Schmidt Company in the early 20th century in Chicago, Illinois, becoming popular among blues musicians for their affordability and their distinctive sound. With their minimalistic design and painted fret markers were typically made from solid birch, featuring lattice bracing and a floating bridge and a metal tailpiece. These elements contributed to its characteristic warm, resonant, chunky tone, making them really especially favored by folk and blues artists alike. Kurt Cobain of Nirvana played an acoustic Stella on the recording of his song Polly from the Nevermind album, as did Mason Williams with classical guests. Give it a listen. You will hear this guitar. Hey, today we're very excited to invite back blues legend Chuck Hall to demo and discuss this underappreciated and overlooked piece of guitar history. Let's check it out.
Sarah James.
Again.
Yes.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. This is
becoming a regular.
Just to sit in this room is a gas, man.
Just soak it in, right?
You betcha.
I mean, hearing you play that, just brought back flashbacks of sounds and music that I've heard before. And that guitar is just really amazing. Cheap little guitar like this.
Oh, it is amazing. And you know, I personally don't know a lot about the history of this thing, but I've heard plenty of records from the guys that were using these things. And the minute I picked it up and played it, I went, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
It has a voice of its own.
Yeah, very rich.
Yeah. And your blues work on it really, like, oh yeah, I've heard that. I'm thinking like...
I stole it from somebody.
Well, I'm thinking of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
You're that old Delta blues played in some of that down-homey music. It's okay, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I can imagine finding that in a store. It probably cost like $15. Back in the day.
In the day. That blows me away. And you got to figure one guy bought it because it was cheap.
Right.
And then everybody else heard him and went, whoa, where'd you get that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
I had one when I was a kid. It just tripled in price.
Uh-oh.
No, I had one when I was a kid. I was little. It was actually my first guitar.
That's awesome.
My parents bought it for me, but the action was so high it made my fingers bleed.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah.
Not this brand.
Like
similar.
that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So when you picked that up, what was your initial reaction? Because you really had never played that
I've never
before.
played one. No, I'm not even sure I've seen one in person. And well, you heard what came out. That's kind of what you have to play on this thing. It's in there. You just got to mess with it, and it'll come right out.
Yeah.
That was my reaction.
Yeah.
It's almost like those the new rubber bridge guitars that have sort of a deadened sound.
Kind of thumpy.
Yeah, thumpy. Thump. Yeah. it's like staccato with a decay. It's an interesting sound.
Yeah,
And this
yeah.
has a similar thing. That seems to work perfect with slide because, you know, a lot of that can be a little sloppy, especially if the strings ring out really quite a bit, and I'm fairly sloppy. So,
It's fun.
oh yeah,
It's a little thing.
put a little piece of rope around it,
Yeah.
throw it over your back, and hit the highway,
Off you
man.
go. Yeah. Well, out of the guitars that you've played, I know there have been many. You're mostly an electric
Well,
player,
I
for the most part.
yeah, and I've also developed a nylon string thing. So I'd say I'm running about neck and neck now. I've got my 20,000 hours on the electric. I'm about 10,000 hours into the
Okay.
nylon string.
Catching up.
So it's catching up.
How does this compare to the other ones that you?
This is a different animal on it, all by itself. And I'm not really a steel string acoustic player much, but I can totally appreciate like Martins and you know what they do. And then this thing comes along and it's just you're going to play a certain way. This guitar makes you do that.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, and even that ain't easy.
Yeah. With that low end, it's got a
Big,
it's got some
rich.
kind of like
Yeah, and kind of
Yeah.
a plinky top end,
yeah,
which
right,
is perfect
yeah.
for that.
It's a very specific voice.
Yes.
So that model, that guitar, has been used like for decades, and a number of artists have used it. Mason Williams and classical.
That
bands.
blows me away.
When you started playing that, I think, oh my God, that's the sound.
Yeah.
That's that guitar. Kurt Cobain.
Wow.
In Nirvana, one of his cuts used that guitar.
And you go back to the origins, and it's like Robert Johnson and all those guys. The minute I started playing this, I go, oh, wait a minute, I recognize that sound.
You went right to the blues.
Yeah, I recognize that feel.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck Hall, thank you so much for being here and doing this for us. This is amazing. Again, second time, right?
Absolutely my pleasure. Can I put an air mattress down on the floor and just sleep in this room?
Well, you may.
With all these guitars.
Would you put food under the door?
And that's all I need. Just every once in a while. Maybe a sandwich.
Maybe a sandwich. Hey, be sure to check out Chuck Hall on Facebook at Chuck Hall Music for upcoming shows. This is a performer you don't want to miss. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, follow, and subscribe for more episodes. We'll see you next time.